What's up, my movie compadres, my movie amigos, my movie pals? Anyway, so we're back in the movie man cave, or Cody's movie cave, rather. Today we're going to discuss Uncharted, right? Alright, so I kind of, I remember playing the video games to Uncharted, Nathan Drake. A great character. I kept thinking, man, this would make a good movie. Because the video games were super fun, and I remember the sort of the premise for these games where it's Indiana Jones meets James Bond, and it's kind of a compiled of that. You got great action, great historical like treasure type situation, treasure hunting movie or game rather. So when they announced that they were making a movie, and now this movie had been in production hell for years, pretty much since the game first came out back in 2007, way back there. So that's pretty much how long this movie had been talked about, thrown around. And what's interesting is, Mark Wahlberg is in this new movie, in the new Uncharted movie, and he was back in 2007. The front runner to play Nathan Drake, the lead character. Which, how ironic is that he wound up playing the older sidekick in the form of Sully? That was pretty ironic, I thought. Pretty neat little tidbit there of information, trivia. There's all kinds of stuff going around up in this noodle, movie-wise. Anyway, so it had been in production hell for a long time. Finally, they come together and. Instead of taking more toward the first game or the old, the original first of the series in the Uncharted video games, they kind of went more and adapted the last game, which is Uncharted: A Thief's End, I believe, which is where we kind of get a backstory prequel to Nathan Drake, his brother when he was younger, when he was a kid, and so on, how he got his start, which is kind of where they went with this one, which makes sense because Hollywood likes a origin story. They like and the reason why, I believe why they like doing origin stories, Hollywood does, is because they know they can milk it franchise-wise. Why start in the middle or at the end when you can start at the beginning and get several sequels out of it? Makes sense. Anyway, so they adapted more toward A Thief's End in my book, with us getting a younger Nathan Drake, one that's just coming on the scene. And who else better to play that than the acrobatic, amazing abilities of Tom Holland, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, who's also, his movies are at Sony, so he's already kind of got a contract there. Makes sense. So Tom Holland was cast. A lot of people were like, man, this is going to suck. We got an idea of what Nathan Drake looks like in our head, and Tom Holland is nothing like that. That being said, the movie came out this year, back in February, so it's already out. It's been on Blu-ray, streaming and stuff. Anyway, it's been out a while, and came out. I went to the theaters to watch it because, movies were making a comeback towards putting your butt in a seat in a theater, which I'd rather watch because it's just better. Anyway, chasing a rabbit. So, Uncharted come out in February. I went and seen it, and let me tell you, it was a good movie. So good. And because it's been a while since I played the game, so they weren't real fresh on my mind. So that helped my experience. That being said, Tom Holland did a great job. He is, like I said, great action actor. He's one of the up-and-coming new kids to kind of get into the action genre, and he did great. He was a good Nathan Drake, a young Nathan Drake. Keep in mind, it's an origin story that we're getting here. So Tom Holland did good. He sort of plays a different type of character that, he's not the Peter Parker, the nerd, or, the tech guy from the Spider-Man movies. No, he's actually trying to play a suave, sort of cool cat, type vibe in this movie, and he does a good job. I get it. He's trying to separate himself from that role so he doesn't get typecast in a particular style of character. It works. He did good. Mark Wahlberg is in this movie as Sully, who is the mentor to Nathan Drake in the games and all that. So this is kind of how they start their friendship, partnership, if you will, and they're sort of how they become to knowing each other, and how that forms. And there's some trust issues between the two that toward the end is finally have to put aside and either trust each other or die type situation. Now look, this movie's great. Toward the end, I dug the whole end climatic fight scene. It was very much like swashbuckling type deal, and when you see it, you know what I'm talking about. And it was just very entertaining. It was good. It was different from most adventure movies because it had these big stunts, and what I loved is they stuck fairly close to the source material, which is the video games, but not so close. For instance, the whole scene with the plane and tumbling out the back on the cargo and all that was straight from the game. I have played that scene. So that was very interesting. When that happened, I was like, nice. That was good. Like I said, the whole beginning with his brother and all that was from the game. So yeah, they stuck pretty close, but at the same time, they tried to do their own thing, and I give them props for that. Antonio Banderas is a great villain. Yeah, he kind of gets his hands dirty playing the bad guy in this one. So yeah, it's rounded out by a pretty good cast. You got Tom Holland, Mark Wahlberg, Antonio Banderas, some pretty big names, and it's just a fun movie. It's one of those movies that that comes along that is rewatchable. You know what I'm saying? It's good the first time, and you'll get in the mood and you're like, I want to watch Uncharted. So it's one of those types of movies. It's definitely one investing in. If you buy them on digital, get it, because like I said, you never know when you might be in the mood for some Uncharted. So yeah, it's fun, and that's what's the important thing about this type of movie, is that it should be fun, and it is. It's very much like a ride, and I like movies like that. The story may be predictable, yes. They may be after a certain MacGuffin, whatever that may be, treasure or what have you. But it's fun because it feels like a ride. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to explain, but that's kind of what it's going for, and that's what you want out of it, right? And it succeeds for the most part in that. There is some end credit scenes, so stay tuned for that when you watch the movie, because they kind of tee up what's coming next, maybe if a sequel is ever green lit, and there are early talks about a sequel, so let's hope. So yeah, Tom Holland trying to start his second franchise up. Young kid, he's doing a great job. There's good things coming from Tom Holland. He's already got some good things out there, and this is one of them. Like I said, Mark Wahlberg kind of stepping back, taking on the side, the co-star, if you will, role, the mentor. Who would have ever thought that? Mark Wahlberg's a great guy, but he's cocky. He is cocky, but that's what makes him Mark Wahlberg, right? But he's kind of setting that aside and letting the young buck sort of take his turn. So he's kind of setting into his older age, if you will, taking on the mentor, the wise and old characters here. Not particularly what you expect to see from Sully. If you played the games, you know what I'm talking about. Sully is a older, kind of heavier set guy with a big old mustache, and that's just not what Mark is. However, post-credit scene, Mark Wahlberg does show up again as Sully, and he's got the stash, which is kind of a funny little joke there and a reference in that scene. So yeah, Uncharted, check it out. I'm not sure where it's streaming. If it would be, it'd be on Stars or something like that. With it being Sony, that's probably your best bet. But like I said, it's so good that I'm telling you, if you want to rent it or buy it, do it on, you can do it on all the big three: Apple, Amazon, or Vudu, Fandango, whatever's your choice of platform. Rent it or buy it. It's worth it. To me it is. And it's PG-13. It's got some it's not too heavy on the cussing, if any, really. It's got a little bit of violence. There is a scene or two that's kind of intense, but for the most part, I think it's okay for the younger viewers. You know, your discretion as the parent. But yeah, it's a fun movie. You know, mine's a little older now, and we went to the movies together and enjoyed it, and it was fun. They loved it. They liked the Tom Holland though, because you know they're at that young girl age, and most young girls do fangirl over to Tom Holland. So keep that in mind, dads. So yeah, if you are a fan of the game, I think you'll appreciate this. There may be some stuff where you're like, well, that's not from. Just don't be too over comparing the two. You know, it's inspired, yes, but it's trying to do its own thing. So go in respecting that, and I think you'll have a good time. So as always, this is my opinion. Opinions are like butts. Everybody's got them. All of them mostly stink.
There are places out there you can't find on any map. They're not gone. They're just lost.
Hey, kid. A little young for a bartender, aren't you?
A little old for prom, aren't you?
Leaves are falling all around. Everything in here. Why the map?
This is the path that Ferdinand Magellan took to sail around the world.
You know your history.
It's the biggest treasure that's never been found.
5 billion, easy. I think you're here because of your brother.
Wait, you know my brother Sam?
If we find that gold, we find him too.
Who the hell is this?
I'm a friend of Sully's.
Sully doesn't have any friends. I should know him, one of them.
You are a collector.
Well, I dabble.
I don't dabble. My family has been looking for this fortune for a very long time. So much blood.
I'm pretty sure he's just threatened to kill me.
Don't touch your ear like that. You look like an idiot.
You have no idea who you partnered with.
I've been dreaming about this stuff since I was a kid. My brother Sam left one final clue.
Guess I'll keep on living.
Oh my God!
I shouldn't have come out to play with the big boys, Ian, because you're about to get a proper Scottish welcome.
What?
Oh, crap!
Exclusively in movie theaters.